Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young woman named Elen. At just 20 years old, Elen was known for her striking beauty, which captivated the attention of many. However, she lived a reckless life, frequently engaging in relationships with men for money. Ellen believed life was meant to be enjoyed to the fullest, and she allowed nothing to stand in the way of her pleasures. Her allure was such that every man, whether single or married, desired her company. Elaine's parents were deeply religious, with her father serving as a pastor and founder of a large church. They were highly respected in their community, but Elaine's lifestyle became a source of great shame to them. Despite their efforts to guide her, Ellen continued her wild ways, eventually leading her parents to disown her. She had even been involved with several men from her father's congregation, willing to trade their wealth and gifts for her attention. Ellen had undergone numerous abortions, swearing never to have children, as she believed motherhood would ruin her body and restrict her carefree lifestyle. One day, Ellen began feeling unwell and decided to visit a doctor. After several tests, she learned that she was pregnant once again. True to form, Elaine requested an abortion. Doctor, you know how it is. Let's get this baby out quickly, she said without a second thought. The doctor, however, was concerned. Ellen, do you remember what I told you the last time? You had complications, and I warned you that another abortion could be very dangerous. This might be the last time you can do this without risking your life or your ability to have children. Do you want to die? Ellen, frustrated and angry, dismissed the doctor's concerns. She stormed out of the clinic and went to another, hoping for a different outcome. But after more tests, the second doctor gave her the same warning. Another abortion could cost her life or her fertility. This news hit Ellen hard. She fell into a deep depression, realizing that she might have to carry the child to term. She didn't even know who the father was, which only added to her despair. After much contemplation, Ellen decided to leave town. She moved far away to a place where no one knew her or her past. 9 months later, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy. However, instead of feeling joy, Elaine looked at the child with disdain. She blamed him for the misery and hardship she had endured during her pregnancy. She quickly devised a plan to abandon the baby in a slum and return to her old life in the city. One evening, after making up her mind, Ellen took the baby and walked to the slum. Without a shred of hesitation or remorse, she left the child on the ground, ignoring his cries as she turned and walked away. She didn't care whether he survived the night or not. The next morning, Ellen packed her bags and moved back to the city, telling everyone she had been abroad and was now back for good. Meanwhile, the baby she abandoned continued to cry, his wails attracting the attention of passers-by. People were shocked and confused. Whose baby is this? Why would someone abandon a child here? What a wicked world, they murmured among themselves. One man, named Tunde, couldn't bear the sound of the baby's cries any longer. He hurried over, picked up the baby, and cradled him gently before taking him home. When he arrived, his wife Aisha was astonished. Where did you find this baby? She asked, her eyes wide with surprise. I found him in the slum, Tunde explained. I couldn't just leave him there. It's clear someone abandoned him. Aisha, still in shock, voiced her concerns. Are you sure no one is looking for this baby? I don't want any trouble. Despite their fears, Tunde and Aisha decided to keep the child, hoping that caring for him would bring blessings into their lives. They named him Ayomide, meaning my joy has come. News of the mysterious baby spread quickly through the town. People watched Tunde and Aisha closely, curious to see how they treated the boy. As time passed, Ayomide grew into a loving, intelligent child. He was kind, respectful, and grateful for the love Tunde and Aisha showered upon him. Although they were not wealthy, Tunde and Aisha did everything they could to ensure Ayomide was well cared for, treating him as if he were their own flesh and blood. However, despite the love he received at home, Ayomide was not entirely happy. He often felt sad and isolated, burdened by the stigma of his unknown origins. One evening, while sitting with his parents, Tunde noticed a change in Ayomide's behavior. "My boy, what's wrong?" Tunde asked gently. "You're not as cheerful as you used to be. Did something happen at school?" Line, "Daddy, I'm sad. Everywhere I go, the other kids call me slum baby. They even have a song about it. They say the slum demon gave birth to me." Tunde's heart broke for his son. "Don't say that again, Ayomide," he said firmly. "You are my child, my only son. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Forget what they say. You are my boy, and I love you very much." Despite his father's reassurances, Ayomide continued to face bullying at school. His classmates taunted him relentlessly, singing cruel songs and making fun of his origins. Slum baby, the only son of the dirty demon," they chanted. The hurtful words cut deep, and Ayomide often found himself crying in secret or hiding during recess to escape the torment. While Ayomide struggled with bullying, Ellen continued her reckless lifestyle, showing little concern for the child she had abandoned. She pursued wealth and pleasure without a care for the consequences. One day, while out and about, Ellen met a wealthy and influential politician named Senator Raymond. Known for his charm and power, Senator Raymond was a man many women desired, despite his already having 5 wives. Ellen had long hoped to meet him, seeing him as a potential ticket to the life of luxury she craved. Over time, Ellen and Senator Raymond began an affair, and she quickly became one of his many mistresses. Her status in the city soared as Raymond lavished her with gifts and money. She dreamed of one day becoming one of his legal wives and bearing him children. However, despite years of trying, Elaine was unable to conceive. As she grew older, her desperation increased. She saw Senator Raymond as her only chance at securing a comfortable future, but her inability to give him a child left her feeling miserable and insecure. Ellen's despair deepened as she visited numerous hospitals and clinics, consulting with specialists in the hopes of finding a solution to her infertility. But nothing worked. Slowly, she began to believe that she was being punished for her past sins. "Oh God," she prayed, "I know I've done terrible things, but please forgive me and grant me this one wish. Let me have a child for Senator Raymond so I can be his wife." While Ellen was consumed by her quest for a child, Ayomide was growing into a remarkable young man. Despite the bullying and hardships he faced, he excelled in his studies, making his parents proud. He graduated from secondary school as the top student and won a scholarship to study any course of his choice at university. Ayomide wasn't sure what he wanted to become, but he knew he wanted to be successful enough to help other abandoned and orphaned children, just as he had been helped. One day, after much reflection, Ayomide approached his mother, Aisha. "Mom, I think I want to be a doctor. I want to save lives. It's something I think I would enjoy for the rest of my life." Aisha was overjoyed. She immediately shared the news with Tunde, and they couldn't have been prouder of their son. Although Ayomide wasn't their biological child, he had brought immense joy into their lives, and they were grateful every day for the blessing he had been to them. As fate would have it, Ayomide chose to attend a prestigious university in the city where Elen lived. The university was known for producing some of the best doctors in the country, and Ayomide was eager to begin his journey. He settled in quickly and dedicated himself to his studies. Meanwhile, Ellen's situation continued to worsen. Despite her best efforts, she remained childless and was approaching menopause. Her happiness faded as she realized that her relationship with Senator Raymond was unlikely to lead to marriage. She began to worry that he would find another woman and forget about her entirely. Desperate to secure her future, Ellen decided she had to act. She sought advice from others, and they directed her to a powerful man in a neighboring town who was known for helping women conceive. Without hesitation, Ellen embarked on the journey, determined to find a solution to her childlessness. But tragedy struck when she was involved in a serious car accident. The crash killed her driver instantly and left Ellen in a coma. For weeks, Ellen lay unconscious in a hospital bed. While she was in a coma, she began to have vivid dreams of the baby she had abandoned years ago. In her dreams, she saw his face and relived the moment she left him in the slum. These visions haunted her, filling her with guilt and regret. When Ellen finally woke up, she was disoriented and terrified. The first thing she did was scream for her child. My boy, please help me find my boy, she cried out, much to the confusion of the medical staff. The doctors rushed to calm her down, ensuring that she was stable before they discussed her condition. Miss Ellen, how are you feeling today? One of the doctors asked gently. We're glad to see you awake. Ellen, still in a state of shock, replied weakly, I'm fine, doctor, but where is my driver? Is he okay? The doctor's expression turned somber. Miss Ellen, I'm so sorry. Your driver didn't survive the accident. He died on the spot. Elena's eyes filled with tears, and she began to sob uncontrollably. Please take it easy, Miss Ellen, the doctor urged. There's something else we need to discuss with you. Do you have any family members we can contact? You might need support as you recover. Ellen shook her head. I don't have anyone. Am I going to die? Please tell me what's wrong with me. I need to know. The doctor took a deep breath before delivering the news. Miss Ellen, the accident caused significant damage to your spinal cord and knees. I'm afraid you may never walk again. Ellen was devastated. I am finished. How will I survive without my legs? She cried, feeling utterly hopeless. While Elaine was recovering, Senator Raymond, the man she had hoped to marry, never visited her in the hospital. He ignored her completely, moving on to another woman. After 3 months of hospitalization, Ellen was discharged and returned home. She hired a maid to assist her, but her situation remained dire. A few years earlier, Ellen had been so focused on enjoying life and spending money that she hadn't thought to secure her future. Now, without a husband or a steady income, she was vulnerable. Desperate, Ellen tried to reach out to Senator Raymond, who eventually sent her a cold message. Ellen, I heard about what happened to you, and I'm sorry, but I'm a busy man, and this will likely be the last time you hear from me. You're no longer of use to me. Please get well soon. Ellen was shattered. The man she had thought would secure her future had abandoned her when she needed him most. Left with no options, she tried to invest what little money she had left, but she was scammed by her maid, Tinuke, and Tinuke's boyfriend. They took all her money, leaving Ellen penniless. With no way to pay her rent, Ellen was evicted from her home and forced to live on the streets. She became a beggar, sleeping in the same slum where she had once abandoned her son. Life had come full circle, and Ellen found herself breathing the foul air of the slum, a stark reminder of the choices she had made. One day, Ellen, overcome with despair, wheeled herself into the path of a moving car, hoping to end her life. Fortunately, the car slowed down just in time, avoiding her. The driver, Ayomide, immediately got out to check on her. Madam, are you okay? He asked, his voice filled with concern. Ellen, tears streaming down her face, replied, "Why didn't you just hit me? My life is miserable. I want to die." Ayomide, deeply concerned, insisted on taking Ellen to the hospital for proper care. As Ellen recovered, Ayomide couldn't shake the feeling that there was something familiar about her story. When she finally shared her past with him, he realized the truth. Ellen was his biological mother. Torn between anger and compassion, Ayomide decided to confirm his suspicions by conducting a maternity test. When the results came back positive, he was devastated. He traveled to his adoptive parents, Tunde and Aisha, to share the news and express his anger. But Tunde and Aisha, with their wisdom and love, urged him to forgive Ellen. After much reflection, Ayomide decided to let go of his anger. He returned to the hospital to tell Elaine the truth. "Ma, I am your son, Ayomide. I forgive you and I want us to rebuild our relationship." Elaine, overwhelmed with emotion, begged for his forgiveness, and together they began to heal. Over time, they developed a close bond, and Ayomide helped his mother find purpose again. Ellen, now understanding the true meaning of love and sacrifice, dedicated the rest of her life to helping other abandoned children, ensuring that they would never suffer as she and her son had. As they worked together to make the world a better place, Ayomide and Ellen found peace and happiness, proving that even the darkest past can be redeemed by love and forgiveness.